So I was able to draft Avatar: The Last Airbender over the weekend, and I gotta say, this set has been really, really fun. It's been very flavorful and true to the show, while also making a nice limited environment for people who are just there to play Magic. I think it's just a good set overall. And so I just wanted to give you all a little guide on what to look out for if you're gonna draft, and just my thoughts overall on this set in general. Now, first off, I want to get into the bending. The four elements I felt were really, really accurately represented in the mechanics, and they're all pretty fun in their own way. Let's get into airbending. So with airbending, I felt like it was a great way to reuse your own ETB effects by airbending your own permanents. And it's nice to get to airbend your opponent's permanents too, but in terms of removal, white just kind of has better options anyways. But either way, airbending brings in lots of versatility, and so it's just fun to have. Waterbending feels like a nice mix between improvise, convoke, and kicker. It makes for huge added effects onto cards that are already really good, and makes for lots of flexibility if you want to scale to the end game. Earthbending I felt was the strongest to use in Limited. Just being able to have the land that you awaken come back in case it dies was really, really powerful. Everyone seemed to agree that Earthbending was the strongest of the four. And Firebending was also really dangerous. If you had multiple things that could firebend, you could ramp really quickly and do some sick stuff at instant speed. Whether that's activating waterbending abilities or casting more instants, firebending was super dangerous. Now, when you're drafting, look out for the shrines. I felt like the shrines were all really, really good, especially the white and blue ones. The white one being able to put counters on everything, and the blue one just being a little cheaper and being able to draw. It just felt really nice to have. And if you draft more than one of these, just being able to get incremental value is great. Now, they are legendary, so if you cast more than one of the same kind, you will have to sack one, but you will get to put the enters the battlefield ability onto the stack before it dies to state-based actions. So don't be afraid to run more than one of the same color. Next, take a look out for the land cycling creatures. I felt like these were all great to have early game if you wanted more lands in your hand, and they were all good payoff cards for late game, so it adds lots of versatility for when you're drafting. It feels good to have them in your hand early game, but also late game. And some of these are really good, especially the blue one, which gives unblockable, and the green one, which was huge and has reach. They're both so good. Next, I want to point out all the legendary creatures in this set. They feel pretty accurate to the show, and they're all really good in their own way, especially the hybrid legendary creatures, just because they're very versatile in that you can draft them even if you're only going one or the other color. I was playing Zay, and I was also playing as another person playing Zay. I was playing blue-green, and he was playing blue-green-black, and so neither of us needed red in order to get a full use out of this creature. It was just really, really nice to have that utility. His activated ability doesn't even require colored mana. It's just good. And lastly, I really liked all the different lesson and ally cards there were in the set, because if you're paying attention to them, you can really build powerful effects around them, but you don't have to. It didn't feel forced. Lots of interactions between cards like lessons and allies just kind of incidentally happened. So if you take a look out, you can have lots and lots of synergies, but it didn't feel like you had to go all in. Like you could sprinkle in allies or lessons and then passively gain benefits for them. It makes it a really easy set to draft. Now, I didn't play enough Limited to really give you all a full rundown of every color in this set, but here are some cards that I played with and against that I thought were really, really powerful. The first is Crashing Wave. It's double blue for a sorcery, and you can also waterbend X to tap down X target creatures and then distribute 3 stun counters among tapped creatures your opponent's control. Now, this thing was really, really good for tapping down creatures. Waterbending is great for any kind of deck that runs lots of tokens or artifacts, just because it helps you cast waterbending spells a little bit more easily. And what's great about Crashing Wave is that even if you aren't going to waterbend with it, you can still stun your opponent's tapped creatures. So you can just waterbend for 0 and then stun something that is tapped down even if it has hexproof. You don't have to declare it as a target. It's just great. Next would be Invasion Submersible. This thing blew me out so many times. I hated playing against this thing because it comes down for 3 and it bounces a non-land permanent, and then you can waterbend for 3 to turn it into a creature later. And what was so annoying about this thing is that it dodges sorcery speed removal until it becomes time to become a creature. So if you're playing this thing, you can have it come down with tempo and bounce another permanent that you don't like, and then at the end of your opponent's turn, waterbend it into a creature. It's super dirty and annoying. I could never get rid of this thing when I needed to because all my removal was sorcery speed. This is so good. Pick up every one that you see. I was frustrated because I drafted one and never got to play it because I never drew it. So frustrating. Next is Iguana Parrot. This thing is great because if you're running synergies with multiple creature types, it can get lots of value. And also, even if you're not, anytime you see a 3-mana 2/2 with 3 abilities, it's gonna be good. It's got flying, vigilance, and prowess. This thing is just so good in all situations. And last, I want to talk about Raucous Audience. All my opponents were running this, and I was so jealous because it's a 2-mana creature that can swing in with 2 power, and then eventually it can tap for 2 mana. It's just so good as a common. If you're playing green, you should pick up all of these. It's always good. So what were your thoughts on Avatar: The Last Airbender? Did you enjoy this set? What did you think? Just remember, it's not about the magic, it's about finding your own journey, even if you have no idea where you're going, do you?